Yeah, hôm nay là ngày bà con xuống đường bày tỏ sự phẫn nộ với bà Price, bà Pamela Price nha. Bà này là DA của cái quận hạt Alameda County. Tới đây sớm, sáng sớm là sắp xếp. Lúc này tội phạm rất là lộng hành, tại vì ở đây không có luật lệ gì hết nha. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah.
What she's not saying is that relative to the average historical annual charge rate, she's going to charge for 25,000, so she's charging a third less, so 2/3 of the criminals are running loose.
Oh, is that what it is? One of the things that she said is that so it's 2/3.
Thì nếu mà làm cái tầm mày làm cái
Hello. Hi. You know what?
Go.
Recall Price.
Recall Price.
Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price.
Supervisor Howard?
Present.
Supervisor Marquez? Excused. Supervisor Pam?
Present.
Supervisor Carson?
Present.
President Miley?
Present.
We have quorum.
Before joining the pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board of Supervisors welcomes you to this meeting. The board allows in-person and remote observation participation of members of the public. In this meeting, can recognize the important and valuable role of public participation in government. Be reminded that disruptive conduct that renders orderly conduct of the meeting unfeasible and intolerable. This includes disruptive conduct that may occur through public comment. The chair will order removal of individuals that will willfully disrupt the meeting so that the meeting may continue in an orderly manner. Those attending the meeting in person, if you would like to speak an item on the agenda or during public input, please submit a speaker card to the clerk. Your name will be called,
included in today's agenda. If you're joining the meeting using a computer, use the button at the bottom of your screen to raise your hand to request to speak. When called to speak, please unmute your microphone and state your name. If you're calling in, dial *9 to raise your hand to speak. When you are called to speak, the host will enable you to do so. If you decide not to speak, notify the clerk when your call is unmuted, or you may simply hang up and dial back into the meeting. As a reminder, you may always just observe the meeting without participating by clicking on the View Now link on the county's webpage at acgov.org. When called, you will have 2 minutes to speak. Please limit your remarks to the time allocated. Public comment will generally alternate between in-person, online, and online speakers, as determined by the president of the board, subject to overall time limits. Thank you.
Are there any board supervisors remarks?
Chúc mừng nó gì chọn cứ
We will not take public comment on items on the agenda except items as 11 followed. There's no one to consider. Public comments on items listed as 11 box.
Yeah.
We take it after the item is called for presentation.
Yeah.
Anyone online who wishes to speak on these items, please raise your
Yeah.
hand. First, please submit your speaking phone. Vote now. Take public speakers on items on the agenda that are not listed as 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock.
Supervisor Lance,
Yes.
I'd like to read a proposed amendment to a board item into the record at this time, so that if the public would like to comment on that item, they can.
All right.
So this was first item 37 on your agenda, and it's, the board letter is a proposed ordinance amending the charter and calling for the matter to be placed on a ballot for election consolidated with the March 5th election. So this is item 37 and proposed charter amendment. And you'll see in section 1 of the ordinance attached to number 37. And we'd like, if you look at the ordinance in the board packet, in the first section 1, there's a box. And we'd like to amend the language in the box to read, charter amendment dash notification period of civil service examinations period. Shall section 36 closed of the charter of the county of Alameda be amended to change the notification period of each civil service examination from not less than 25 days to not less than 14 calendar days. And this is on your agenda for first reading today, so should your board approve this at first reading, when it comes back for second reading, these changes will be incorporated. Additionally, the next sentence that follows that box in section 1, it's the final sentence in section 1. If there's a typo, so we want to correct the typo, so that it reads, a copy of the full text of County of Alameda measure blank is, and the typos to add the word is incorporated herein and is attached here too. And then in the measure, there is a measure attached to this board package. And again, we just want to correct the typo in the measure. So in the third paragraph of the measure, the word followed should read follows. So we just, in that third paragraph of the measure, we just like to add S. And that's just a ministerial typographical error. Since we're reading the main change in the box of the County of Alameda measure that will appear on the ballot, we're reading the typos that would be corrected too. So I just wanted to make that note for the record in case the public was commenting on this. Thank you.
Okay, so we have public comment on items on the agenda and reset members.
Yes, there are speakers on these items. We will go to the first speaker and alternate between in-person and online speakers as necessary. Please state your name and the city you live in, and which item you are speaking on. You will have 2 minutes to speak on the item. This is just a reminder. If you're calling in, dial *9 to raise your hand to speak. You're on the line.
We'll go to the first in-person speaker, Alan Doan.
Thank you very much, members of the board. My name is Alan Jones, and I'm here with some level of concern and urgency about an item on your closed session today, the property item number E, and I just here to appeal to the board I have friends on this board, and I don't typically try to impose upon you, but this is a matter of great importance and urgency. It's something that has been in progress for years, and in particular, the recent negotiations since December of last year. And we're here in October, and it's having an absolute very devastating impact by the time in the state to get to a resolve of this, the changes regarding, at this point, down to a system, solar system, that I just want to make sure everyone had a lot of maintenance done on it over the last couple of weeks since sitting indication from the county that they were interested in the system. And it's fully functional. Had some problems as a result of the firestorms. And there's also some equipment on the building that's malfunctioning and it's causing some problems. But I'm a small business. I'm trying to do big things. And these types of challenges have a very, very difficult impact. So again, I just suppose that as part of your deliberation, some sensitive to the time of situation would be observed. So I thank you very much. I look forward to hearing that from you. Thank you.
Allison, please unmute.
Thank you. I would like to address item 29, which is a revision of the charter. We would like to know the reason for wanting to change the language. It appears that Alameda County would then be adopting state language for the purpose of what? Any revision to the Alameda Charter, it takes away local authority in terms of choosing our representatives, in this case, recall, the provisions for recall. Item 29 wants to submit to the state language, where our language has always been fine in the matter of conducting a recall. So I don't see any reason for it. I think anytime the board is proposing any kind of revision to the Alameda County Charter, it's incumbent upon you to give citizens a reason why, and not just say we want to do this. There is nothing wrong with existing language, and other than typos, which are great to correct typos, but we need to know why we are doing this and how Alameda County citizens, the electorate, will benefit by that language or by that new submission. Thank you. Chris Moore, please state your name and the item you're speaking on.
Hi, Chris Moore. I'm also speaking on item 29. I think that the board needs to recognize with this changes from section 62 in the county charter to the state, is it creates some mismatch of rules. Okay, so in the current under 62, up until March 5th, when the signatures happen to be due, and also when this would be voted on by the public, under 62, it requires 73,000 signatures by the state organization. After the 5th of March, and voted on by the public, it goes to 93,000 signatures that are required. So the ROV has already told the committee that they only need 73,000. I think it's just something the board needs to verify and make sure that that's the case, that they only need to submit the 73,000 signatures, if it happens before March 5th. There are other, I get it, there's some unconstitutional things. Actually, those don't even matter anymore because the unconstitutional items are not even considered anymore. They're not considered by the state. So there are some other mismatch, and I think it would be important for the board to have maybe outside counsel or other counsel look at this. We know there have been some problems with the ROV in the last election. We just want to make sure that this recall moves forward. It's very important. The reason it's important. I'll note one more thing. On the AC vote right now, they have this, which is the state rules. It's on AC vote by the ROV, has the state rules online as the requirements for a recall. So that's even incorrect. That should be taken down if it's not the actual, because it's section 62. But why is it important? There are people dying. Why is it important to recall Pam Price? Right now, you have one person dying every 3 days in Oakland. It's actually right with what's happened in the last couple of years. So the recall, once you do, if it moves to the state, we have to move it forward as quickly as possible and go forward. Thank you for your time.
Mindy, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please unmute your mic. Mindy, can you please unmute your mic? Liz, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please unmute your mic.
Guidelines with the state of California. I agree that we need to make amendments regarding the recall and special election, not only because it's antiquated, but because calling special elections is not equitable democracy. It is equitable democracy when we can have more people, more voters, having the ability to access the electoral process, and special elections have historically been used as a way to pass measures or to pass ballot initiatives that disenfranchise voters, particularly low-income voters of color, low propensity voters, because the level of engagement with the public and voting population to turn out for elections is low, is historically low. And so to move this to an election that lines up where we have a larger number of voters who are being engaged in the process to come out and vote, it allows us to have a more equitable process and does not favor or give favor to a few number of people who want to see a particular measure passed. Secondly, that this is, special elections are very costly when we are constantly pressed with making budget cuts that are very important to services offered by the county that are completely necessary to waste additional funds to run a special elections is undemocratic. So I'm calling for, in favor of this ordinance being placed on the March ballot.
Brenda Bridger, you're next. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Good morning, my name is Brenda Grisham, and I will be speaking on item 29. I'm in opposition to the changes to the recall. I am the primary officer in the recall of Pam Price. I feel that this is election interference. And we have no trust in any of the departments, any of the administration. Right now, we have no trust in the register of voters. When we were approved to circulate our petition, this should have been noted before we got our approval. It is unfair in the middle of us getting our signatures to say that you want to make a change. If you want to make a change, you should wait till after we recall Pamela Price and see how constitutional it is after that. It's unfair to the families, everybody that is involved. I'm a taxpayer. I have 5 businesses, and when I get back to my office, I need to pay my taxes. So when you spend my money, I'm concerned about that as well. So we can't just say that it's a money issue. We have to do what's best for the people of this county. And what's best for the people of this county is to recall Pamela Price. And if you want to interfere in that, that is violating our constitutional rights. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Right. You just follow from home. You don't be free. Come back to you.
Point of order in the chamber, please.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you, Mindy. Please state the item you're speaking on.
This is Mindy Petchina. No, it just disappeared. It was. Hi. Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. My name, sorry for the technical problems. My name is Mindy Petchina, and I am running for State Assembly, 18 against Miabanda. And I'm addressing agenda item number 29. That this item, we cannot move to suspend 62. We cannot allow this county to become subservient to the state on the question. Take, for example, the recall of Pamela Price, which I fully support. And by the previous callers, what Chris Moore has said is absolutely right. People are dying in this city, in this county. The robberies, as this young man in the front row said, have been robbed 3 times in 5 months and insurance denied. This is proof that absolutely, and as Brenda Grisham said, this is election interference. So I truly support not going through with agenda item 29. We need to have the recall stay as it is. It works, it functions, and there's no need to change it at all. And this is the kind of thing you should not rush into immediately by any means. This is the kind of thing that you go to the Board of the Elections Commission. But at this moment in history, I'm calling on you not to go through with any change to the recall agenda. And I will stand by that with all the citizens in this state, in this county right now. So that's my comment, and we have to protect the people of this county. And removing changing the recall will not protect them. Thank you. Next speaker is Tran.
Giống như
customers away and scaring them, and it's affecting our business adversely.
Dạ, tôi đi chợ thì tôi cũng sợ bị cướp, và đồng thời bạn của tôi tuần qua cũng lái xe mà cũng bị cướp.
Everywhere I go, I'm afraid of getting mugged, going to the store, it's just daily things that I do. Also, my friend who come also to the area also got mugged, so it's scaring everybody to stay away from the area.
Dạ, này tôi đến đây mong những người có sức giúp giùm cho tôi về cái hàng cướp bóc.
I'm appealing you to take action to help us with the state of affairs that's affecting our businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, please state the item you are speaking on. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Item 29. I'm reading here in Newsbreak, FBI report shows that Emeryville is the most dangerous city in the state. Congratulations. It's only 10,000 people there. And we all know it's right next to Oakland. And now you hear people can't get insurance because the crime's too high in their area. And people their customers won't come to them because they're located in an area where it's too dangerous for them to go. So your businesses are going to go under, your jobs are going to go under because they can't hire people. And, that's you just need to have a safe neighborhood. Elections have consequences for us. And we all know that because who we have as the DA. And also recalls have consequences. And some will say that this ROE, purposely delayed things to try and line up with the state. And we shouldn't, give our powers of recall to the state. We should hold that ourselves here in the county. We shouldn't be, at the whim of the state. We have our own problems. We know what our problems are, and we appreciate what our problems are. So let's keep our powers here. And especially, we do not want to have the recall that should move from June to November. To put the people of Alameda County for 5 more months in danger, just because you want to have more, so it's more convenient to hold the election in November. That's outrageous. Completely outrageous. Dorothy has a very large budget. Tell him to hire as many people as he wants.
Christopher Fryer, please state the item you're speaking on.
I believe it's on 28. 28.
28.
28, yeah. All right. Good morning, everybody. All right. I've been on the county here in Alameda County. But I want to recognize board member Derreck David and all the I would help for that. Hopefully we go in the right direction and trying to help people here in Alameda County. So what I do now is I go look more to get food, good food. People here in Alameda County, they give it away. It's a shame that all the programs that they have implemented are not getting the food and the health stuff that people really need. We need better food, we need, that makes healthier people. Healthy people, wealthy people. And, right now, as I enter into my senior citizen age, I'm dealing with elements. Now I'm dealing with glaucoma. So, mirrors on this side, I can see it, as well as on this side, I can't
to think about that when we're children, because we're always playing. But as we get older, things start falling apart. Thank you for your time.
Alyssa, please state the item you are speaking on. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Good morning, my name is Elisa Victory. I am a lifelong resident of this county. I'm speaking today in my capacity as a staff attorney with the ACLU of Northern California in support of agenda item 29. This item ensures that our county charter's language is legally compliant with voters' civil and constitutional rights. We agree with the legal analysis that was included in County Council's memo that the timelines are impractical and can infringe on rights of some of our residents, including those who need to receive mail-in ballots, absentee voters, even military personnel and their rights to vote. This is not election interference or delay, but election compliance. This is not providing the state with more authority, but this is adopting state timelines that are more reasonable, practical, and possible for our county to comply with and to run an effective election. This also will protect our taxpayers' funds by allowing supervisors to conduct our elections more efficiently and effectively by consolidating them.
Deputy Love? Deputy Love?
The sheriff just took her out, so you gotta call somebody else.
Anna Tolentino?
Yes.
I'm a mother of the murder, my son got murdered. I'm a mother. My name is Anna Tolentino. Murdered of Alameda County, same people who killed my son, killed with the other people in Hayward, Fremont, and Berkeley. Pamela Price did not do her job, okay? And the murderer are loose and were killed other. Fortunately, other family were so frustrated because they need too much pain. Have helped to prevent this. Help the community. When Pamela Price Recall, please select someone who does not adopt the same failed policy. That's it. Thank you.
Cindy, please state the item you're speaking on. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Thank you very much. Cindy Rocha, San Leandro, speaking on item 29. We understand that there will be a second reading on this item very soon, probably 2 weeks from now, I don't know. You're probably going to want to push it through very soon because you must not allow this Pam Price recall to go through. So we see that coming already, the second reading. But you don't have to take action on this immediately. You can refer it to the county election commissions first, can't you? But of course you can't do that until you complete the impaneling of your county elections commission. Why are you slow walking this? It's so transparent what you're trying to do. You're putting the cart before the horse. You really need to impanel your elections commission, and not with your ringers. Not with the ACLU people that keep putting dollars over county public safety. The lady that just spoke from the ACLU, one thing you need to know, if the ACLU supports it, it's probably not good for conservative values, family values. The Board of Supervisors is rushing to place this on the ballot. The actual deadline to act to place this charter amendment on the March ballot, probably is in December. That means you have time. Last thing I want to leave you with is, when has it ever been a good idea to go from a decentralized, locally controlled, locally managed issue to take it to more centralized? In this case, you want to take it from the county to the state. When has that ever been a good idea? You have the ability to control something. If the language right now is deficient, fix the language. That's what your elections commission would help you to do. Keep the lawyers out of this. Hire election commission members to do this for you. Thank you.
Stephanie Love, can you state the item you're speaking on?
Hello, I'm Stephanie Love, formerly known as Pamela. I'm speaking on number 29. I wanted to express the many reasons why I'm part of the campaign to recall Pamela Price. I'm a targeted individual that is being gang stalked by her office and many people, like even Nate Miley here, who's Darrell Stewart, your staff, who's avoiding all the constitutional rights of mine being violated, my due process rights by Sheriff Sanchez, many deputies, former Sheriff Gregory Ahern. I'm part of the Babu versus Ahern case. I'm an only female plaintiff in that under Stephanie Navarro before it became a class action lawsuit. Mr. Bruckner here, you know, I met you last month at the town hall meeting in Fremont. I have video of you giving me your business card. You said you would help with the fact that I am also a victim of sexual abuse, sexual harassment through CPCR parole, from ACSO, from public pretender, Brandon Wood's office, from your office, violating my rights so many ways. I have so many emails to you that you avoided, phone calls to your office, Ms. Marquez. Your staff has said that they would call me back. Never happened. I want to know why. Why is Pam Price also having her little thugs go to Safeway in Hayward, not yesterday, but the following Sunday, harassing people that are getting petitions signed, having attorneys harass the employees saying that she can't be out there? Why was I, by the grace of God, in front of Target yesterday at Mayfair, right after some thugs pulled up and tried to pay these kids fundraising for their basketball team to smash the table that I was signing petitions for to recall. She's a thug. You're a thug. And I have to.
Have a good
day, Mr. Brown.
Gerald, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please state the item you're speaking on.
Yes, this is item 29 on the agenda. And as other speakers have noted, and I concur, and I have a few additional comments, I submit to you, the board members, that you are appearing to be insensitive, out of touch with what is happening right in front of your eyes. And I will submit for your consideration from KRON TV News the following statistics, just so you know that it is blatantly obvious to everyone in this city. Oakland has become the land of milk and fentanyl, and we have the following. Robberies up 35% from 2022. Carjackings up 22%. Motor vehicle theft up 51%. Burglaries up 36%. Homicides have now passed the 100 mark. So if you think that you're going to be able to sneak in some kind of charter change to mess with the legally certified recall of the Chaser Bodine of Alameda County, Ms. Pamela Price, and the fact that Lisa Victory, who was involved in the shenanigans to get the mayor shamed in there, in the ranked choice voting, never explained, and you can't do this without people showing you're an emperor's with no clothes. Thank you.
Chanel?
Due to my mental disability, I live in Mo, Bunnies, and I got roaches that I'm retaining. My ceiling is falling down and collapsing. I reached out to all and everybody I could, Patricia Wells of Oakland Housing Authority, and Chris Bratton from Company Enforcement. No one is returning any of my calls. They even got me wrongfully, illegally, they said that I was served. I was not served, and I'm fearing for my safety, and I'm looking for some immediate effective help, like as an because I have a mold contamination in my unit right now. That's it.
You think I missed 18 seconds?
Please state the item you're speaking on. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm speaking on item 29. I'm a resident of Alameda County. I can't believe how disgustingly politicized and hateful this whole thing has become about the recall, about IDA, etc. About the scheduling of recall, I think special elections where the turnout is low and a small minority can overturn a regular election is terrible. I think you should not allow special elections to be scheduled. It's costly, it's undemocratic. You should move toward consolidating any special. You get a fair turnout of voters. Those are the elections where sort of the vulnerable populations vote more. They don't vote in the special elections, so special interests get to reverse the will of the majority of the county by having special elections. I can't believe the way in which Pamela Price is being scapegoated for every social ill that she is not the cause of, that she did not create, that she's really trying to do something that will work based on evidence-based studies about what's going to work to address crime. I know victims want her to do the absolute maximum of punishing, but she has to follow the law. And if you understand the law, she is doing her job appropriately. She's doing what she said she would do. That's proven around the country to be effective. This is all a politicized right-wing attack against the criminal justice reform movement, and it's sickening. Don't scapegoat Pamela Price, and don't allow undemocratic ways of getting rid of her, which is going to do nothing about the social ills and the crime problem.
Felix? Felix?
Oh, he'd go to the bathroom.
Edward Escobar?
Hello, my name is Edward Escobar. I'm the founder of Citizens Unite. We don't have the luxury of time. The lives are special, the businesses are special, and they're dying. Both of them are dying. Everything is going downhill quickly. And the recall of Pamela Price needs to be expedited as soon as possible. Otherwise, there is no tomorrow for many residents and business owners of the county of Alameda. And another matter pertaining to Shentel, we cannot afford to wait for the mayor Shentel to act. We cannot afford to let Oakland become a lawless and open city. We cannot afford to let crime spread and infect the rest of our county. We must act now, we must act together. This is why I urge and demand that the Board of Supervisors take immediate action to declare a state of emergency for Oakland. The Board of Supervisors has the authority and responsibility to do so when there is an imminent threat to public health or safety in any part of our county. By declaring a state of emergency for Oakland, the Board of Supervisors would recognize the gravity and urgency of the crime problem in the city and would mobilize additional resources and assistance from the county, the state, and the federal government to address it. The Board of Supervisors would also send a clear message to the mayor and the city council that they need to take immediate, decisive action to restore law and order in Oakland and to protect the lives and livelihoods of their constituents. By declaring a state of emergency for Oakland, the Board of Supervisors would demonstrate their leadership and commitment to ensuring public safety in Alameda County. The Board of Supervisors would also show their solidarity and support for Oakland residents, business owners, community leaders, and law enforcement officers who are suffering from the crime crises and who are demanding change. The Board of Supervisors would also uphold their oath of office to faithfully discharge their duties as elected representatives of the people of Alameda County. Thank you.
Jackie, please state the item you are speaking on.
Hold on 1 second. Hi, Jackie Coda, Pleasanton, speaking on agenda item 29, 37, and also the election commission appointments. I'd like to let the board know that we appreciate you actually moving forward with the appointments. However, a little concerned that you're appointing people that are from out of state who haven't lived and breathed and grown up in this county and have been a part of this county who are totally qualified, so that's quite concerning. However, we can't wait to work with the election commission because items like item 29, where you're trying to prevent the recall of Pamela Price by pushing up the election and aligning it with the state, is absolutely the reason why it should not be done. The reason why the constituents of Alameda County put Charter 62 in place is because of the fact that they want to be separate from big government. Progressive Marxist policies have been destroying the state of California, and we the people are tired of it, and we are dying. The business owners of Oakland are dying, and we're tired of it. We want this election, this recall to go through, because Pamela Price comes up in front of you, the first thing she does is ask for $1 million to just tighten up security in her office and paint. That is not an effective use of funds. Plus, not only that, her soft on price policies, no bail, is ridiculous. We, the citizens of the county of Alameda, ask for you to put this forward in front of the election commission so that this can be properly analyzed and then move forward with it, or table it forever. Because this law, charter, is constitutional. We, the people, put it in place for a reason, to stop bogus government, corrupt government, because we have uncovered the corruption in Alameda County with the voting systems, and you're ignoring it, and now you're trying to change the law. Unacceptable.
Sylvia Rainey.
I'm speaking on item 27. Press release, 3rd October 2012. It says HUD announced $212 million finding opportunity to expand affordable housing options for a person with disabilities. Funding provided capital to reduce legal and we're gonna take existing house along with primary rental assistance to support very and extreme low income persons with disabilities. Washington, United States Department of Rural and Urban Development Office of Multifamily Housing announced today that $212 million in funding available to expand the supply of affordable housing and support the service for very low and extreme low income persons with disabilities. I've been working in this for 2 years. Y'all want me to walk the street? They don't have to be out there. I've been there for 5 years. I've been in homelessness for 35 years. That's wrong. Y'all out there in the Constitution right. They don't want that health education welfare. What about it? Oh, what up? I'm sorry, I don't know. That's the situation. This is what you talk about. And we need to do this like we started, what's the name of it? An internship for them to come in, intake them. So as a couple, I can get them, find out where they're before we start this. I just, we did this 35 years ago. I got to do it again. You know, we did. I'm going to do it again. Y'all give me the right to go in the building, we keep off the streets, so we get house, find the back way, find the way to the system board. We're going to build a hospital. So you need, because it's extreme, you don't have all the street, they need a hospital. Joint is outdated. We need to build one wholesale 5,000 people. And how many times? And big job better get people out here. That's what I'm how
You have 2 minutes to speak. Please state the item you are speaking on.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Pacolia Manico. I am with Oakland Rising. I'm speaking on item 29. Constitutionally aligning to state recommended guidance makes sense regardless of the current recalls. The current county guidelines are outdated and if not adjusted would disenfranchise the very voters standing before you in the room. For example, the current recall signature gathering did not have to be registered voters of Alameda County. The reason that is because the county defaulted to the state guidelines that said that signature gatherers need to be 18 years or older. Already, the county is moving forward and in trying to be fair in this process. However, because of poor governance of our Board of Supervisors and the oversight of our register of voters, this is an issue that we now have to address. When the Secretary of State issued guidance years ago, this should have been addressed before now. I'm here talking on this issue because it's clear that without adjustment, special elections will continue to cost taxpayers approximately twice, if not 3 times as much as a regular election, diverting millions of dollars from the very issues that people are speaking about today. I'm here in support of this change because without adjustments, this will continue to fuel frustrations and drain resources from the solutions that actually support our county to deal with the challenges, not just in Oakland, but across the whole county. It is absolutely disappointing to hear folks advocating for fairness in our elections and yet calling for our Board of Supervisors to ignore our state constitution. We live in the state of California and our constitution has to be honored. And we have to abide by that. And to not do such would undermine our democratic process. We have to recover from this pandemic, and it's not going to be easy, but it is important that the Board of Supervisors move forward with the recommendations per council so that we can move to the issues that I wish that the folks that are in this call and the folks that are listening across the area really hear this last piece. This is a moment where we have to work together to solve these issues, and a recall is not going to resolve all the issues that people are bringing up. It requires our city governments, our county governments, our mayors, and the appropriate departments to work together. And I hope that my kids and all of
Felix? Felix in the room? Felix? Tim? Tim Lee?
Yeah, please. Oh, sorry.
Hello, good morning, Board Supervisor. My name is Tinley. I'm at Oakland, Little Saigon community. My community people get robbed almost every day, and family with children, they cannot come there no more because there are naked girls everywhere now. And suddenly a lot of buildings get broken into, not one, two, but sometimes 4 or 5 times too. And it feels like business, the area become a ghost town if we don't do something, don't take action, and the community will be gone. Yeah, we need to recall Pamela Price, and she doesn't do anything for the county here, made it look really, really bad. Yeah, I wish you look into it. We have to take some action, take law and order. Yes, suddenly the town is like my area, just like the open market for drug and homeless. It seems like the gang is running the town. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Patricia, please state the item you're speaking on. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Hi, good morning. I'm speaking on item number 2937 and also the Election Commission. I don't have a formal statement, but I do have several questions, and probably the biggest question I have is at what point is this Board of Supervisors going to be responsible for the appointed Registrar of Voters Director, Tim Dupuy. Mr. Dupuy has come to you again stating that basically he is not able to fulfill the requirements of his position as Registrar of Voters because he cannot adhere to county charter, which is the law of Alameda County. If at this point you have to go to county council and say, gosh, I think that we should just absolutely forfeit our position as a charter county in regards to the recall procedures, instead of being able to surgically remove whatever details in the county charter recall guidelines, I don't know what to say. Mr. Dupuy and the Registrar of Voters has failed to adhere to the law before, and members of this board were advised that him and his administration were not adhering to federal code, and that includes the IRS. Citizens had to come to supervisors to advise them that Alameda County was in violation of federal code, the IRS code, in order for the Registrar of Voters to come clean with that procedure. Why is that? And why is it that county council can't be doing their job actively and understand what federal code is and make sure that our Registrar of Voters is adhering to it? Again, we should not be forfeiting local control to centralized control in Sacramento.
Next speaker is George.
Good morning, Supervisors. Usually my wife shops food and grocery in Oakland, Chinatown once a week because Chinatown has Chinese food and cheaper price. But now she never comes. She's afraid to come here because it is not safe. Oakland is not safe. Oakland is not an okay bank. I think as supervisors, you must take your leadership to monitor Oakland. Excuse me, my English is not good. May I ask Pam to help me to speak more? Please. You can translate.
We have talked a little bit before. We wanted me to express to you the level of crime in Oakland is unacceptable. We have had over 14,000 burglaries this year in Oakland. we have had almost 12,000 carjackings. Those stolen vehicles are used as instruments to commit further crime. Businesses dying, people are dying in record numbers, and we have failed leadership in the city of Oakland. The residents of Oakland are appealing to you, the County Board of Supervisors, to step in and provide oversight where the city has failed. We have dumped millions of dollars into endless programs where it gets stolen and taken away by the nonprofit industrial complex. The residents need urgent action. You need to declare an emergency, bring in additional resources, the sheriff, funding to save local businesses, because we cannot endure this anymore. So we desperately need you to recognize the crisis at hand and provide leadership where the city has failed. Because without businesses, where is revenue going to come from for Oakland? With the state of conditions, property values are going down. Where are you going to collect property taxes to provide basic services that the whole entire county needs to address the homelessness crisis, the drug epidemic, the fentanyl that's prevalent? All of this is interlinked. So please take action. Provide the intervention that is needed here, because the crime is spreading. It's not getting better. Every year it's getting worse.
Thank you. Capitalism. You know that?
Next speaker is Yvonne. Yvonne?
Yvonne is not here. It's just she just goes down.
Virginia?
I'm speaking on item 29. My name is Virginia Nishida. My husband was Kevin Nishida, and he was killed here in Oakland, November on Thanksgiving Eve. From Pamela Price, I have received no communication from her to my family, and we have repeatedly asked to meet with her, to know what's going to happen on the DA's part. How are they going to fight this case? Are they going to get justice for my Kevin? Will our family and friends get justice? She has not responded or not met with me or my family or the other victims in this case. She's lenient on crime. The men got out of the car, shot my husband. In the preliminary trials, we realized that they were on a crime spree. That whole week, they were on a crime spree. And we've seen it by videos of the city videos that were taken and shown at the pre-trial. They're repeat offenders. They have long lists of criminal activity in San Francisco, Oakland, Richmond. There's no doubt you can see it. You can look up their case. You can see all the things that they've been through. With Pamela Price's administration, I asked my prosecutor, hypothetically, if we were going down to the courtroom right now, and Pamela Price came in and said to you, dismiss this case, what would you do? I just wanted an honest answer. He told me he would do exactly what she said. And criminals are calling her Auntie Pam. What is that? She is a DA, she's not a public defender. And I welcome all of you to my case to come with me to court and realize what I'm going through. Thank you.
Linda?
My name is Linda. I live in Alameda, and I'm recent on IDA's road. And I'm always afraid to speak or do anything because afraid of revenge. Because I'm an Asian and I'm short and I'm living in this country to have a better life. But right now what I see and what I feel surround me, my reason is dying. And just because of my safety, I'm here today and ask for help because we are Asian, we don't know much, but we try to live in this. It is called safe and peace, but right now I don't feel safe and peace because I have lost and my life is in fear. And I'm standing here to ask for help to our Vietnamese community. There's so many incidents. People, recent owner died in robbery and got killed, and I am a victim of one of those cases, so I'm here to ask for help. Thank you.
Next speaker, Lynn.
Hi, good morning. Alameda County. My name is Lynn John. I live next to one block in Village and Fairview. I saw every day the problem, a lot of problem in my area, but nobody can help to solve the problem. A lot of robbery, a lot of contract, like Buddhists are enough for my area. I talked to the city, the mayor, and I hope the city can change, but I don't know how long. We are the district very suffering. Whole street is quiet, like a gold tower. Like the morning and night, nobody walk by because of the Buddhists. Because if the Buddhists not there and the crimes come up to robbery, the people cannot go to shopping. I asked the city, the Pam Price to sort out to come to the Saigon to see, and we own the business and the resident suffering. We don't know how long we got killed. Every night the gun, fight the gun, the night time, and my family and me live there. Not sad. I come here to help the Pam Price and change the policy to have all the Asian, the business, some small business can stay in the Oakland and do, and the people live there every day. Like the whole night bother a lot of crazy people, like they don't know nothing. They bother basic also. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please state the item you are speaking.
Hi, my name is Barisha Spreads. I am calling to support the consolidation and replacement of special recall elections, the primary statewide election, save taxpayer dollars. Special elections cost taxpayers approximately twice as much as regular elections, burning millions of dollars from programs and services our community could benefit from across counties. History shows that the majority of recall elections are unsuccessful in getting elected officials out of office. As we continue to recover from the pandemic and the large budget deficit, there is no room for us to waste taxpayer money and divert from the real issues happening in our communities, such as affordable housing, we need mental health services, and so much more. So, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Patricia Harris. Never would I thought I'd be here today, but I am here. My son was murdered in Patch Valley. The guy was up on murder charges until Pamela Price came into office, who let him off on involuntary manslaughter, with 2 years time served in Santa Rita. So I am all for the recall. I'm here today because I'm just amazed and shocked at the registrar of voters requesting that you step in and do his job for him and take him off the hook for being responsible.
evidently there's rules and laws in place, and it shouldn't be able to be changed in the middle of the stream. It's already been approved, the recall will go forward, so for him to all of a sudden decide after the fact to have you step in and change it is not fair. It's not fair to the victims, it's not fair to the victims' families, that she continue to be able to do what she's doing. I'm one of so many that have experienced this. The disrespect of the DA's office is ridiculous. And I'm not just someone who has gone through it. I'm here because I've gone through it. And I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the registrar of voters throwing his hands up and trying to shape the recall or postpone it or not do his job and expect you to do it. And I'm asking you to be fair to us. If there's a rule in place, it was approved, let it move forward the way it is. Don't step in and change it once it's been approved. Going forward, maybe next year or the next go round, but this recall has already been okay. We're already in the process, so it's not fair to take that away from those of us who have suffered already, to have to suffer more at the hands of someone else within the offices of Alameda County. Thank you.
My name is Don, I'm speaking on item number 29. I've been talking a lot with the families of the victims, and they're extremely disappointed and they're hurting. It turns out that there's multiple serial killers that are out there, and the families are connected by the same serial killers. The ones that Pamela Price is letting loose on the street ended up murdering people in Hayward, and then they continue to murder people in Fremont, and then they murder people in Berkeley. And she's not charging as she should, so they're running loose, and other families will know their pain. And they expressed to me, please do not let other people get killed and other families suffer what we are going through. So when I was out there, after I talked to the families, I went out there to help collect signatures. And I get this flyer from the Pamela Price team, and it says that she charged, it boasts that she charged 7,600 cases. I'm like, oh, okay, but the majority of those are misdemeanors. But what's misleading is she doesn't provide the context, because in the prior years, the number of cases that are charged for misdemeanors was 10 to 15,000. 15 to 20,000. For felonies was 5 to 7,000. So she's charging a third less the number of cases. That means 2/3 of the criminals are running loose to commit crime, that's closing down shops, that's killing people. We need to provide intervention. You guys look at the legislation that's before you, the 10 days to 30 days for signature verification, that's reasonable. But when you guys need to call the election, do it within a week, because you know this is coming, and we need help now. Our community cannot last under this current tragic condition that we have to live with every day.
Yes.
No additional speakers?
Okay, I want to thank the speakers for their comments this morning. It's about 10:55, so we have set items at 11 o'clock. So we'll take a 5-minute recess and then we'll look at the set items.
Recording stopped.
Let's go down to the press conference. We're leaving for the press conference. We're still going to be here.
Hello. Yeah. Sit up.
They were done with the meeting. But it's okay. A few of us just pull up close. Yeah, just very
Okay, meet out here. Meet out here.
Whatever you guys said up there, say the same thing here in like 1 minute. Or 2 minutes.
Testing 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Check 1 2. Testing.
I will ask for this removed today. Hey, send me the slug on this. I don't think I have it. Thanks. I'll get back. You're the pool. Really? Yeah, you're feeding it back live to us. I don't know why I'm here.
Stand in the center with this.
Let's give just a few minutes though, just because it's only what time to do. 11:02. Just give like maybe like 10. Let me know if you want to do any B-roll or anything. Thanks for coming.
Hey, what's up? Do you
Appreciate
need a mic stand?
You know what?
No, you're gonna do that. That's okay. You got
Thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate that. And he's just supposed to show up too.
Well, he's pulling it out to the other stations.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, we're seeing it on his camera too. So.
Pamela, can you do a sound check? Are you level? Go ahead and speak. Is it turned on? It's on. Testing 1 2.
Oh, they're gonna put it way up there? Okay. Lipstick like that.
Oh wait, do you want to wait for channel 2? Yeah, let's, well, I told him to give us like 10 minutes. Just
I know I'm gonna find the cheese, right?
Yeah. And just make sure you hold the mic close to your mouth. And don't be afraid to just, this is the time to show your passion.
Get mad.
Yeah, get mad, get focused, just be you. Speak to your wheelhouse, what you know. This is not a competition, it's about you being you, and they need to feel you. Right?
Let's just focus on the victims and not our particular circumstances.
Yeah.
Just whatever what you say.
Yeah, just we'll do an overall thing.
You guys want a chance to get this going? Recall Price.
Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price!
Okay, we can say justice for victims. Okay?
Justice for victims! 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 Justice for victims!
Okay, you just said something else like save our businesses. Right? You want to talk? Okay, go. I'm not ready to talk. Yeah, no. You get inside. Yeah, no, we're just a little bit.
But go ahead and amplify that right now. What's your case? What's another chance?
We don't get no justice, they get no peace.
No justice.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Recall Pamela Price. 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 Recall Pamela Price.
Justice for Jasper.
Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And Brittany Grisham here, she's the leader of the Recall Pam Price project here that we're the campaign. So, there you go, Brittany.
Good morning, my name is Brenda Grisham, and I am one of the primary officers in the Recall Pamela Price recall efforts. And today we are here at the Supervisors meeting. We spoke on the changes that they're trying to amend the recall in our charters, which is unfair to the families, it's unfair to the community, it's unfair to all of those that want to see change. That is violating our constitutional rights. When our petitions were approved, those were the rules. You cannot change the rules in the middle of the football game and think that's okay. We have to keep going in order to make our city safe. We don't have any type of, we don't trust any of our officials at this time. So do we need to add the Board of Supervisors to the list? The register of voters needs to be recalled as well. There is no way this should be coming up. We interacted with the register of voters before we even started the recall efforts. So this that came up, the amendment should have already been taken care of, if need be, before we started. It will make a lot of changes. that are unfair. We don't want to slow up the process. We are taxpayers as well, and if this is how we want to spend our taxpayers' money to make sure our city is safe, then that's what we're going to do. We don't need other people telling us what we're going to do with our money. We have families that have lost their children. We have business owners that have lost their businesses. We have people that have lost personal items in our city. We should have the whole city behind us. We want to see change. We want to see a better day. We want to see our men and women achieve things. We don't want everybody locked up, so that is just not the truth. We just want to see justice. We want them to be held accountable for their crimes. And in order to do that, we have to have a fair process. And right now, we don't feel that it is in the best interest to make any changes to what we have already started. So with that, I'm going to let a family member speak. Brenda Grisham. You want to spell it? BRENDAGRISHAM.
My name is Virginia Nashida, VIRGINIA, Nashida NISHITA. And I'm here today to ask the Board of Supervisors to not change the recall process. This recall needs to happen. I don't want anyone in my situation sitting there in court thinking that maybe these guys who were repeat offenders will be on the streets again. I do not want any family to go through what I am going through. And I welcome the public. Look up the cases, see our names, see the families, look up their cases, see how the outcomes are coming out. I welcome everybody to do that and see for yourself what Pamela Price and her type of justice with compassion to the criminals, not to the victims, Look at it, see for yourself, know the truth for yourself. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Love, also known as Navarro. I'm a targeted individual, and Pamela Price's office is part of the gang stalking against me. She's a civil rights lawyer who is violating my constitutional rights and all of yours. Why don't you ask her community liaison, Austin Bruckner, who I met at a Fremont Town Hall meeting last month, who has all the proof of how Sheriff Sanchez, Judge Alameda County Judge Morris Jacobson, parole agents Jonathan Simon, Cecilia Nunez, and many others, Deputy Bocanegra, Deputy Divine, who is now deceased, that's Sadie Divine, and how she was doing drugs and also stealing drugs from people that she was arresting or also in the county jail and giving it back to people. There's so much corruption and so much that there's too much for me to even say, but I have all the evidence, and Austin Bruckner has it, and I wrote a 14-page letter to Pamela Price just recently. I paid more to have her signature on it, and no one signed it, and she kept that letter, and she's never even responded to it. I'm asking you to demand answers.
Hi, my name is Patricia Harris, PATRICIAHARRIS, and I'm here because I was shocked. First off, that the Registrar of Police has asked the council to do their job or to change what they've already put in place. Our son, Jaron Purvis, was murdered 3 years ago. Up until Pamela Price came into office, the person that murdered him was up on murder charges. Once she came in, it was changed to involuntary manslaughter. He was out of prison, not even prison, I'm sorry. He spent 2 years in Santa Lucia jail, came out, no probation, no stripes, no anything, involuntary manslaughter. He's out on the streets now, as if nothing happened. It's no different than if you ran a stop sign, and it's not fair. So our case is over, unfortunately, and I just cannot be okay with other people having to go through the same things that we have gone through. We have been told that the DA's office does not work for us when we ask. They don't work for us. That's what we were told. We were told that the person would be on probation. That did not happen. So everything we've been told
true. We have asked, I have requested, I have emailed, I have texted to meet with Pamela Price to understand how she was able to change 10 charges into 3 charges, and not of them murder, not of them gun enhancements. And she has refused to meet with us, to meet with my family. She has sent a letter saying she's busy with her budget and her staffing, and I don't understand how that is fair to the victims. I hear Marcy's Law. We're not getting that from the DA's office and the DA that is in there. So for the council to want to change what the registrar of voters has already put in place continues to be another injustice to the victims, to the families, to the business owners in Alameda County. Thank you.
Hello. Well, my name is Chris Moore, and CHRISMOORE. I'm with the Coalition for Community Engagement here in Alameda County. It's extremely important that this recall move forward and it not be delayed by the Board of Supervisors nor the ROV, the Register of Voters. So any change they make, it must ensure that it moves as rapidly as possible forward. Why is that? People are dying in this community. There is one person dying every 3 days in Oakland. Every day Pamela Price stays in office, someone else dies. Someone else dies in our community. We have 1,000, 1,200 cars stolen per month in the city of Oakland alone. Every day, every month, Pamela Price stays in office, people lose their car, they lose their job, businesses close down. She needs to be recalled, and she needs to be recalled as quickly as possible to save our community. Not only Oakland, but all of Alameda County. Everybody wants her recalled. The Board of Supervisors should not be doing anything to delay the recall of Pamela Price. It needs to move forward and move forward with what we're doing as quickly as possible. Businesses are dying, people are dying. People get out there and sign those petitions because that's the only way we'll be able to save our community. Thank you.
Next speaking is Tuan. He is the founder of #Asians Unite.
I'm here to ask the community to take immediate action to head off the crime that is victimizing our entire city, our entire county, and is spreading by the day. Pamela Price says and boasts that she's charging all these criminals, 7,600 criminals, but that is not true. What she's misleading people is that she's failing to disclose that before she came into office, there were 25,000 cases that are charged annually. She's charging about 1/3 of what is normally charged. That means 2/3 of the criminals that should be locked up or loose on the streets. They're robbing people, they're stealing cars, they're burglarizing, and business is closing down. People are getting murdered. The same serial killers are targeting different families. We have the same serial killers killing people in Hayward, in Fremont, in Berkeley, and they're still loose in the streets. Would your family want to experience the same pain and suffering of these families that are here, that have murdered sons, daughters, and spouses? We need to take action now, and we need to vote to recall Pamela Price.
Everybody here. That's okay. Hello, everybody here. My name is Inle, spelled E-H-I-N-S, last name L-E. I'm part of Little Saigon community. I own a business there. And as I told everybody, I've been in jail for the last 3 years at my own business. I live in my own business. And a lot of my friends, business around Little Saigon, been breaking in not 1, 2, but sometimes 4, 5 times. And some of my friends business not been robbed like 5 times, but last few months like 10 times. No? And people get robbed on the street every day. look like the criminal get the back from they're backing them something. They don't care about the law. And the family with children, they don't want to come to my district no more to shop because why? They are literally naked girl walking the street. Walking the street. Like look like criminal is all in the street right now, and we need to do something. We need to recall Pamela Price to save Oakland, and not only Oakland but the whole county. Thank you so much.
As we said today, we came to address the issues, address the unfairness of the families, address the unfairness of the citizens of Alameda County, to speak to the supervisors to do their job. Let us be the one organization that we can trust in to make our city safer. We already have a lot going on. In Fremont, Pamela Price made a statement that by law, murderers are to get 25 years. Let's start there, Pamela Price. Let's see you give somebody 25 years for murdering somebody's son, daughter, husband, uncle. Let's see that. Let's make a change. Let's go back and get the young men and women that have been in prison for 25, 30 years. 3 strikes is no longer in effect. Selling an ounce of weed on the corner. Let them go home. That's how you fix the injustice. Those people have served with the injustice. Let them go home to their families, and they can be beneficial to saving our society. They can come back and they can work with the re-entry programs in order to get our youth to know that I've been there, I've done that, and that is not somewhere you want to be. We're hoping that everyone will come out and sign the petitions and support the families. Thank you.
All right. Next one. Thank you, sis.
Can we get some of the footage? We have to call the foundation back.
Oh man, you know my place is like a ghost town now. Yeah, after 4 o'clock, people don't want to walk the street no more.
Hey lady, I'll call you later. I had to stay away from the camera. Okay, baby.
No, my business is still there. Still on the farm. But I have to fill out my business every day. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I have sleep there.
Do you have any petitions with you? Yeah, I caught a
So you never showed up. You didn't show up. It says, I submitted it.
Well, she tried to attack. Well, they tried to attack him, and so that's afraid of her.
No smile.
We have 3 newscasts. 4 or 5
Can you take one more, Mama?
Yeah, it'll be on all 3 shows. There's the 4 o'clock runs an hour. It's usually they put a piece of it in print. It's an hour long.
Okay.
We've been getting your emails.
Like everything is done.
Okay, no smiles.
Now people gotta get the picture.
All right.
And that's, if you need to talk to anybody, where is it? If you want to has your name. Gloria. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, see you later.
Okay.
All right. Gen 07 is here. Gen 07.
Thank you.
KTVU News is here. All right.
Yeah, he came to me because of the old Drivers United robotaxi fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is also up our alley. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the founder of Asians Unite. You gotta push that. Oh. Give me the signs.
One second
Sure. I used to be shy, but I'm kind of done. We need to fix the problem.
Yeah.
I'm become an activist. Whatever, go with it. I know too much not to say it.
So what was your name?
My name is Juan.
And tell me, before we started rolling, you were telling me about how you used to be shy. You didn't.
Yes, I used to be. I'm an introvert, and just the problem with crime and the injustice and the targeting of seniors has become just a little bit too much, and just inspired a lot of us residents, just regular people, to come and speak out and have a voice to make sure that our city doesn't continue its downward trajectory and get some help from our leaders.
One second. So in this interview, also, the more passionate you are, just like you were over there, the better it'll be.
Okay.
Okay, now you're speaking out. What was it? Was there some last straw, like you were robbed or a friend was robbed, or what happened?
I talked to a lot of the immigrant refugees, that is my community, that left our country and everything behind to find basic freedom and safety and opportunity and provide for our family and have a future. Well, that's all being taken away and being robbed by criminals that target the Asian community, especially because our seniors are vulnerable. We don't speak the language. A lot of us walk the streets and carry cash because that's the culture that we come from, and we are easy pickings, and it's really the failure of leadership at the top. Our mayor is missing in action, the council president is not there to help protect us.
And they catch these guys and they just let them go.
That's right. They're supposed to protect us. That's what the job of the DA is. But the DA is not doing that. What Pamela Price is doing is she's releasing many of the criminals that should be behind bars so that the public could be protected. Historically, we charge many more cases to protect the public. Pamela Price is only charging a third the number of cases that is annually charged by the prior DA. And that's just inexcusable.
You're very good, very passionate. Any idea why they are doing this? Is it easier for them? Does it make them an idea?
It's really the wrong direction, wrong thinking to think that you can somehow reform somebody who is a psychopath. Because what actually happens on the ground is the same serial murder is going around killing one family after another. Pamela Price lets serial killers loose on the community. First, they kill people in Fremont, in Hayward, and they continue to kill in Berkeley. The people who have talked to these psychopaths have chills running up their spine. And yet Pamela Price refuses to take action to protect the public and do her job.
Yeah, that's crazy. How have you personally been impacted?
Everybody in the city is impacted. We can't walk down the street without worrying about our safety. Every day, people are getting mugged. Every day, we see broken car windows and our personal belongings stolen. Every day in this city, there are shops that are suffering because customers don't feel safe parking their cars there, which get broken into. Every day, we have restaurants that are closing. We have small businesses that are closing. We have families that stay away from shopping district, and retail is failing because crime is out of control. There's utter lawlessness and utter lack of leadership from our electeds.
Yeah. What's your work? What do you do for work?
My background is about technology. Okay. Most of it is in cancer biology. As a side hobby, I also do some general construction work.
Cool. Many talents. Tell me about this recall that's happening now. Do you hope? I know they're trying to delay it. When do you hope to be able to vote this DA out?
As soon as possible. Every day, like I said, people are dying, and we hope that we can take action and vote in June.
Got it. And I think they say, the prisons are full. We are already doing the most with them.
They are not doing enough. Clearly, our city is failing. We are throwing money into ineffective programs without any metrics, any deliverable outcomes, any transparency, supposedly to take care of crime. But every year, the crime has gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. And tell me again, now that you with your energy up, you were saying you started out shy about this and you knew about it, but you didn't speak, and now you are. Tell me your journey kind of to speaking out.
It started with me being an introvert, reading legislation and policy that didn't make sense. So at some point, I got up to investigate who's writing these failed policies that's hurting the residents and the regular folks, and what's being done to help the businesses and the community. And I realized that our electeds, many of our electeds, including our mayor and the city council majority, there's just simply, frankly, corruption. A lot of the taxpayer money, tens of millions, are thrown away to special interests, and nobody is taking care of the regular guy, on the street.
When did you start speaking? Like, was it a year ago? Was it?
I started speaking probably 2 months ago.
Oh, wow. Well, you're already a very expert speaker for 2 months ago. You're very passionate.
Well, the issue is really grave, and it deserves a certain...
Yeah. And tell me about, and you you don't need to be quite as loud as you are. It's up to you. But no, just because, yeah, over there is perfect. But you mentioned you can't walk down the street and be safe. Do you personally know people who've been impacted that you want to share their stories, or that you've seen? You know, we saw some of them today here. Are there any personal stories you want to share of other people or yourself?
Yeah, my van was stolen. All the tools inside were stolen, and that's not uncommon. This year we've had almost 12,000 car thefts, and those I've seen some statistics. Those cars that are stolen or used to commit other crimes. They're used to ram into storefronts that the thieves can grab the cash register and grab the goods inside the store. They're used for robbery, to assault other people. So the fact that we can't even pull over cars with tinted windows with missing license plates because our policy is to defund the police and to decriminalize, abolish police, abolish jails. It doesn't work when you implement it. Unfortunately, Oakland is ground zero, and we're the test case, the guinea pig for failed policy, and our residents and our businesses suffer as a result. This is the type of city, the type of policy that America should not adopt. Learn from the pain and suffering of Oaklanders and avoid the pain that your community might know and suffer. The pain of the families who have lost loved ones to murder.
And you know, it sounds good. The people who support these DAs, these policies say, well, we want to be nice to people. We want to give people a second chance. We don't want racism. Like, how do you respond to, it sort of sounds nice, but the result is not.
It's completely unrealistic. We have people who are criminals victimizing other people and harming them, and yet we let them loose on the unsuspecting public to commit crime. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, you're very eloquent.
I'm trying. It's just messed up. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you
Let's stop if you, yeah.
Big corporate, big industrial complex, big this, big that, but it's not about big rights for people.
Yeah. How big of a problem is it? Like, you live here, you see crime, there's one person killed every 3 days. How big a problem is it?
It's bad and much worse than what people even know about. There's a lot of crime that goes unreported. And I used to work for Palo Alto Police Department, crime prevention. And I know that crime prevention works. It's not about just more police, more police. You can't just throw money at a problem. It takes a village. And we have to engage community policing. And that could take many different neighborhood watch programs, crime prevention. Just engaging our community. There's a lot of folks that want to step up, but no one's there to coordinate their efforts. And they could do that. We have the resources. We have the money. For example, here, Alameda County, they collect all the county property taxes. Well, when they're not doing their job and the quality of life declines, also, home prices decline, businesses decline. And that happens, it undermines the tax base. So it's a doom cycle. What happens? So what we're looking at is we have very ineffective leadership.
Particular case with this DA that people outside of relation, like, what's one of the most absurd things? Decisions?
Well, I'll just look at, let's address her policies. She basically says, paraphrasing, that she wants to implement racial bias to make amends for past transgressions of racial bias. And two wrongs don't make a right. Is there a lot of socioeconomic injustice that needs to be addressed? Of course there is. But let's address it for that. Let's not give a free pass for criminals because they're a person of color. You do the crime, you do the time, whatever, there needs to be consequences. It's not time necessarily, prison, jail, but consequences there must be.
Yeah. Is there a particular case that jumps to mind that they dropped, that they didn't, really
it's not
get...
just one particular case, but Pam Price, what she's done, she removed the gun enhancement when it comes to sentencing. So now you see these little kids, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, skinny little kids that otherwise they would not be able to commit a crime because someone would block them, grab them, subdue them. But because they're carrying a gun, and they have the gun hanging at their side, they come out, right? That stops everything. That's a game changer. Some people are like, he has a gun, back off. You see? And so, no gun enhancement and favoritism for minors. They're doing adult crimes and they're not doing adult consequences. Right? So that major game changer alone, very significant. The other Proposition 27 about the amount when it comes to prosecution, that it's under about $950.
Yeah.
And folks are they're just walking out with arms full of clothes.
Have you seen that yourself?
Oh yes, I've witnessed it personally. I've seen the customers care more about the merchandise and they have more disgust about the merchandise walking out the door than the store themselves. And let me talk about that too while we're at it.
Yeah.
There is corporate, commercial, retail crime prevention techniques that they can use. You can't have your cashier checkout on the far side of the store and your entrance and exit on the other side of the store, unmanned, no security. There's no crime prevention deterrence. What we want to focus as a community is let's deter crime. So that way we don't have to go into the person's committed a crime and we have to catch them and we have to prosecute them, we have to sentence them, then we have to warehouse them. Right. Let's be proactive about it. But here's the rub. Reactive makes money. It is a way that they're able to take our tax-paying dollars and repurpose it.
Yeah, crazy.
It's unfortunate. Look, I'm just the messenger. You don't like the message, don't kill the messenger. Yeah. But I've been in Oakland as a co-owner of an office building, a 7-story office building in downtown Oakland. I myself have personally arrested, citizens arrest of individuals where I've engaged them. I don't recommend that for all folks because I was younger then too. So you have to be skilled. You are taking your life into your hands. You don't know what may happen. So in the moment of passion, sometimes you do what you do.
Yeah.
But I've seen that, I've also been on the Oakland Housing Authority Advisory Committee and made suggestions, but they fell upon deaf ears. Yeah.
Well,
and that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are out here. Switching subjects totally to the driverless. Let's talk about like the future of work. I was at the Teamsters thing earlier today, and they were saying this might put us out of work. They're trying to compete with us and lower our wages. How do you see driverless cars changing things?
Driverless technology, autonomous, these robo-taxis is a paradigm shift market. It's ushering in the new age of AI. So with the new age of AI, as you see, chatbot GPT is just killing it right now.
Yep.
I mean, it's all over the place, and chatbot GPT does not sleep. So it's constantly learning. We're feeding it all the information, and then it's being now even more selective. It won't even engage in certain topics that may incriminate itself. If you ask them about AI and its impact on the future of work, and what's the downside, initially it would have the discussion. Now, it's very defensive. So things are changing real quick. But here's the problem, is that this impact of the new age of AI that's being ushered in by the autonomous vehicles is a turning point that is really going to severely impact people's on hold in a massive scale. This is viral, and it's happening now. It's exponential. It's like this. People think this is linear as far as a progression, but not when it comes to technology. Yeah, it's exponential and it's fast. It's viral.
Yep.
It's very quick.
Most people in the rest of the country don't even know that these driverless cars are already operating thousands of rides every day. So this is kind of the test of it. How's it working?
It's not. It's dysfunctional. They're not even providing a basic driving test for the vehicle, the autonomous robotaxis. So if they're not doing that, I mean, these vehicles drive worse than a drunken student driver. A drunken student driver would know better than to shut the vehicle down and leave it in the middle of the street. And that's happened numerous times because the vehicles overwhelm as far as the cell towers, and they need a lot of information, a lot of signal there.
Yeah.
So they'll just shut down. What's the problem with that? We get solar flares, there's an earthquake, and if we're too dependent on autonomous vehicles, then everything's going to shut down.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. And in terms of, let's say 5 years from now, let's say they make these cars really good, they're no longer blocking fire trucks and all this. How do you see that impacting jobs?
Goldman Sachs said that automation, the AI, autonomous, all this combined globally was going to impact 300 million plus workers. Permanent displacement towards the future. And as I said, it happens very quickly. And when they're rolling out autonomous and self-driving technology, they're also introducing electrical vehicles. So it's making it more and more cost prohibitive for the average person to be able to afford their personal private transport.
Yeah. And let me throw you some arguments that kind of tech people make in favor of the cars. They say, 100 years ago, most of the country was farmers. There have been all sorts of jobs from horse drivers to elevator operators that have been replaced by technology. They found new jobs. Maybe they're gym instructors, maybe they're police officers. It'll just happen again with driverless and all sorts of others.
Right, to be reskilled, retrained, and then repositioned in another job. That was then, this is now. Even janitors are being replaced by robo-janitors. So what worked then is not going to work now. They use that argument commonly, and also too, they sell it on safety. Safety, but they're not even at that level of safety.
Waymo claims they are. They say we have fewer accidents.
Waymo and these other companies, not just singling out Waymo because they're all in this together, they are very selective as how they report their data, and they claim it's proprietary.
Right. And they just shut down Cruise today from operating in California.
It should have been prevented from operating to begin with until it was proven that it's safe enough. It should be given a DMV standard driving test and see how it performs in the city. The DMV, here's the issue: the California Public Utilities Commission, they approve them. They're the gatekeepers, and they got them into the gate. And when it came to regulation, they've stated that it's up to the DMV to do that job. It's up to the NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is federal, to the Department of Transportation.
Yeah.
They said that's their job.
Yeah.
But you cannot let the genie out of the bottle if the genie is going to do destruction. You have not engaged that, and there's other issues involved because when you're looking at the influence, it's just like they're taking pages out of Uber's playbook of how they ride roughshod over the transportation infrastructure and over society, and over the transportation regulators. So they push this out a lot faster than the regulators have any chance to regulate. So the regulators in transportation are way behind the curve.
Now, Uber is controversial, but a lot of people say, I love it. It's easier than having to drive into town. So maybe it's 5 years, people will be the same way about driverless. What do you think about that?
Well, in 2014, the founder of Uber said that he loves driverless cars because he can fire Uber drivers. So we have to look at the human costs, the social costs, permanent displacement of workers. What are they going to do? What purpose are they going to have? Even if there was universal basic income, you have to have a purpose in life. You know, otherwise you get things like what we're talking about here today when it comes to crime and lawlessness, because there's no focus, there's no purpose.
Yeah, the techno-optimists, they say, you know, we will have, when we have universal basic income, or the robots will do all the hard work, humans can focus on art or YouTube videos or whatever. Do you have any hope in that vision of the future?
The utopic vision that big tech sells is a dream. And it's a big dream that benefits them. And that's the unfortunate part, because yes, I agree, it could be used to benefit humanity and society. But the folks that are controlling this in big tech, they have their hidden agendas and ulterior motives. And quite honestly, very obviously, it's profits over people. It's always been like that. It's unfortunate because a lot of great things could come from this. It could benefit a lot of people. But if we're able to usher in and shape the future of it, then we can make a difference together.
Yeah.
But they don't give us a seat at the table. I'm a professional driver, and I've been a driver with Uber. I've driven with 9 different app-based companies. So I know, and I've organized drivers since 2014. We were the ones that drove the California Assembly Bill 5, which says what a real independent contractor is. We drove that into existence. And so we've done a lot of work locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally too. So we're working with taxi drivers and Uber drivers in other parts of the world as well.
Yeah, interesting. What would you say to a tech person who says, it's understandable, but you guys are looking out for your jobs, and this would make so many people better off. You just need to look for new work.
It's easy for them to say because they don't see the consequences of that. There's been cases where mass suicide has occurred. Drivers have started killing themselves. Because why? They took away their purpose. What else are they going to do? With Uber, Lyft, and these delivery companies, they specifically targeted recruitment of immigrants, low income, minorities, seniors, disabled, ex-cons, students. Why? Because these are marginalized folks, and they divide and conquer them because they don't have a united voice. Henceforth, the reason why I came into existence with the hashtag Drivers United movement and Alliance for Independent Workers.
Yeah, interesting. Do you see any potential way for driverless cars, let's say they improved them a lot 5 years down the line, for them to work together with people? Like maybe there'll be humans who will control them remotely when needed, or I don't know, humans to help them with the handicapped people, bring them into the cars. Do you see any symbiotic things?
What I see in the future of work for drivers is exactly what Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber, stated. He said the problem is we have to get rid of the other guy in the car, which was referring to autonomous vehicles. And it was a rush to robo-taxis, autonomous vehicles. And right now, we got the displacement of taxis, but also reduced service for Uber, Lyft riders. Uber has a partnership with Waymo. So Uber has the clientele list, Uber has Waymo has the technology in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So honestly, they're making a lot of backroom deals. They contribute to political campaigns. They're one of the top contributors as far as lobbyists, monetarily speaking. They surpass like the Fortune 500, the top.
Do you have a message? Most of the country, people haven't even heard about this actually. It's just in San Francisco and Phoenix. A message for them, like as their local officials are considering adopting it.
people should be aware that technology, it can be your friend, but it also could be your foe. So it depends on who's behind it and what is their true intentions. You know, if they have ulterior motives and hidden agendas and it's profit motive exclusively, and they're using and benefiting from the infrastructure that our tax-paying dollars created. So we have to hold them accountable. They have to get back. What they have as far as the projected future is not a sustainable future. It's very lopsided. Everything is shifted towards them. But there's also, I mean, there's other areas of concern about the ethical dilemma of a vehicle in a robotaxi having that power to determine who's going to live and who's going to die. If it's going to hit another car or hit a human being, a pedestrian or a dog.
Yeah.
You know, and how about the liability of that? Who's going to go to jail?
Yeah, interesting. Is there anything we haven't covered? We've covered a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's other concerns too. Cyber hacking of these vehicles, cyber terrorism, because the sophistication, if you could program it, you could hack it. And that's been proven time and time again. We've seen it in the news where these cyber hackers, well, they also can work as cyber terrorists. If you pay them enough, they'll do it. So, I mean, that's a big issue. Another discussion has not been touched upon is what about the EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies? You're riding on top of a huge battery. Okay, and that's not good as far as creating free radicals in your system and potentially cancer. You have the 5G. You're inside the compartment and you're being exposed to the 5G. The cell phone is classified by the World Health Organization to emit EMFs similar to that of a low-powered microwave. The cell phone. Imagine the size of that vehicle, and you're in that compartment. So you're being exposed to that as well. Another thing that folks are not aware of as far as discussing is that you could deactivate one of these vehicles by simply putting a cone, a traffic cone, on the hood.
People have done that in San Francisco.
Right. We've collaborated with those folks. Safe Street Rebels. Yeah. And we've collaborated with those folks who've invited them to our actions as well, since we're the David against Goliath, if you will. But imagine someone with criminal intent, and they see someone enter a vehicle, an autonomous robotaxi, and they just simply walk up, put a traffic cone on the hood, vehicle is deactivated, then they could proceed to rob, rape, or even murder this person.
It's scary, yeah.
Very scary. And not to also leave out of the mix that these can be used to transport drugs and other materials, as I mentioned, bomb, whatever else, device. We don't know. So, the thing is, this is a public trust. This is the transportation infrastructure is the public trust, and we entrust the California Public Utilities Commission to be the custodian, and they're not doing the job. And they pass the buck on to the California DMV and NHTSA, National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration.
Yeah, and so as we mentioned, they just blocked Cruise. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you have any predictions? Do you think that's going to happen with Waymo, or do you think this is just going to, keep going on the exponential?
Well, they're going to revisit and they're going to push. They have their connections. So I want to clarify, we're not against tech. We're just against tech that benefits the few at the expense of the many. That's really important that people realize that. Is technology, it's inevitable. We're not standing here like in the horse and buggy days, those folks saying, oh, those newfangled automobiles are just a fad. It'll pass. Look what happened. Right? So what we want to do is initiate and be a part of shaping legislation and providing a pathway so that we play a role in shaping the future of work for the driving industry. In California alone, 600,000 plus drivers in transport would be displaced. Just in California. If you look at nationally, because we do a collaboration as well with the independent truckers. And these folks are really neglected. They're kind of left in the shadows. But these folks do all the heavy lifting that a lot of people aren't even aware of. They just see that the grocery shelves are all filled.
Yeah.
It's because these independent truckers are driving and they're putting the priority of getting the goods, products on time to the location. They're very hardworking. A lot of those folks live in their vehicles. They got sleeper cabs, right? So take away their lifestyle. See what's going to happen. Some of them are former vets and gun carrying, card carrying NRA members.
Yeah.
They're not going to accept that. So the purpose of stating that is we need to start a dialogue. The narrative needs to come from the trenches.
Yeah. And do you see? Can you imagine any way for this technology to work in a way that doesn't just help the few, but that also works with drivers? Because you were saying, you want dialogue, a seat at tables. If you were governor or something, can you imagine a way of threading the needle so it works for everyone?
Well, you have to invite all the key stakeholders and the folks that are knowledgeable but not biased, and basically spitball it and be hyper creative. And let's look at the operative word, sustainability factors. If it's not sustainable, next idea. But there has to be a true willingness and honesty in the good intentions here.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen they promise this utopia, the utopic vision of the future, the brighter future for all.
Yeah.
But what we receive in return is dystopic in nature.
I mean, you could imagine some kind of compromise, like Waymo has to pay a big fee that then goes to, I don't know, former drivers, driver retraining, stuff like that. What do you think about that?
That's an area that we've actually begun to discuss. Because you can't just complain about a problem or a challenge, if you will. You also have to think to create solutions. And you have to be a part of that solution and to provide a result, hopefully, from that. But you have to engage. You can't sit back and allow things to happen and then complain endlessly, because it doesn't matter at that point. Once technology is in place, as you see like Uber, they started by violating all these laws, but then they created such a demand for it, and people not aware of the human cost, social costs, and how they were undermining by workers, by misclassification of the worker, calling them an independent contractor, but treating them worse than a part-time minimum wage employee to have more rights.
But yeah, it's entrenched.
But it's been entrenched. They've been given a free pass and ride roughshod over society. Any other small mom and pop business, they can't compete with that. Why? Because they're able to take the profits that they make, that they didn't have to contribute to the employers, and actually to the employees' safety, employment taxes, and everything else that the FICA. And so they pocket that as profit, but they reinvest that in blowing out their infrastructure. And that's how they've been able to be so successful globally. Whereas everyone else has to play by the rules.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
But remember I mentioned about their lobbying. A lot of money goes into that. Yeah. So I'm hopeful about a future if the narrative is driven from the key stakeholders and the legislators really pay attention. But they're getting lobbied by big tech, which even Governor Newsom received $10 million from Google in his 2020 campaign. And he was at the helm here in San Francisco when tech was getting major traction.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, well, we covered a lot here. Thank you for all that.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Yeah,
thanks for the support and coming out and covering.
Totally, yeah. Maybe we'll have two stories here.
Yeah, I think this is